It has been months since a crab told me what happened down below. Even after everything you had seen and everything I had told you, nobody would listen. Now look where we've ended up. Gauntlight is more active than ever, terrorizing our home with monsters as soldiers from the east drag our people screaming into the depths under the leadership of the blind general and the sisters. We cannot get word out for help. We cannot get supplies in. Food and medicine are dwindling, and I cannot keep this old fishing camp concealed for much longer. We have to bring the fight to them. We must take the fight to Gauntlight.
So, no, anyways, why don't you give us the recap? You don't give a lot of recaps.
Well, I was going to, and then you said so, and then you backtracked. So, okay. We all made it to, Gauntlight and all that jazz. We realized that Lurbug can't fit through any of the doors, so that's a new and horrible problem. We dug out the stairwell, which had, collapsed. Then we went down into the depths and found 3 lovely Inara soldiers who we brought back and captured. That about sums it up.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So you now have a total of 4 captured Inara soldiers. And time advancement isn't working anymore. God fucking damn it, I hate this. You know what? It's fine. We don't need time advancement today. So, yeah, you now have a total of 4 prisoners who you will now need to care for and feed if you wish to keep them alive. That whole ordeal took you until 7 a.m.
Man, oh man.
So I can now safely say all of your characters are fatigued as they have not slept.
Okay.
So go ahead and give your characters the fatigued condition.
Boy, I gotta track down all 5 of them and add them to fatigued.
And we do, in fact, have a new thing. I built an activities tracker.
Oh, an activities tracker.
Which is extraordinarily simple. I can't tell if that was a dog or Jacob's mouse being loud.
It was a dog. The mouse here, the mouse that my brother has here is not that loud.
So, anyways, this is the document, which for some reason isn't showing up where I need it to. Oh, that would be why. So this is the document, and then if you go to the tracker link thing, that'll let you actually edit it in Google Docs.
And it's a live feed?
It's somewhat live. I have to manually update it, but...
Okay.
Yeah.
I know I should know the answer to this. Where can I search for the conditions to add the effect?
The compendium. It's fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter all that much. I'll do it. They also... It doesn't help that they fucking hid it. I hate this new menu so much.
Because I thought that it would be under the effects tab and I could look up conditions, but no.
No, you just search fatigue in the search box. Damn, Jacob's dad said, "Oh my god."
Yeah,
It's not under...
some of my cousins came here for dinner, so
Killed him. So, what are you doing?
trying to read Colby's character names because what the fuck are these?
Why are you reading Colby's character names?
Because they're on the activities tracker with every other character's names.
Wrong answer.
Okay. I'm gonna have Eudora and Mildred go ahead and take over for one of the spellcasters at the points each so they can rest.
Okay, which spellcasters?
Send Eudora to Rin, send Mildred to... fuck, why can't I remember his name? He's the...
Morlabent?
Yep, that's the one.
Okay. Cool. So Eudora moves over to take over for Rin. And Mildred over to... Where the fuck? Why can I not move this damn squid?
It's separate, right?
No, I know. Foundry's just not letting me select the damn token for some reason.
Oh, that's exciting.
I would say
I also
there's a
can't move him.
broken module that is not letting me fucking select the damn squid. And I can't fix it. Because that module seems to have just not being allowed. It's not allowing me to access any of its controls. Great. I love updating Foundry so much.
It never leads to problems. Not a once.
Never ever. Never ever. It's my favorite. It's fine. The squid doesn't fucking matter.
Fuck can just chill. It's fine.
Alright. So, you're just having them rest? Or are you having them do something else?
Who, the Morlabent and Rin, or...?
Yes, the people who you were taking over for.
I imagine they should rest. We have a kind of finite number of spellcasters here.
Okay. So they are now resting. Alright. And as I have each of you taking over the barrier, I need both Eudora and Mildred to make fortitude saves, please.
Okay, let's see how that goes. Okay, that's a 24 for Eudora. And for Mildred, that's a 15.
Ah. So, Eudora does just fine. Mildred, on the other hand, you go to take over, and it hits you really hard. Mildred is now drained 1.
Well, that's a problem for later.
She manages to keep the barrier up, but it's real hard.
Well, that's good news. Do we want to just go through all 5 of mine and then go to all 4 of Jacob's, or...
That's up to you guys. So yes, Emma, I suppose that's the answer is yes,
Yeah,
you'll
hi.
do it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I said. Wait, could you not hear me?
You said you could go either way.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
anyway,
that's, yeah.
I'm gonna have... Finley interrogate these guys, but we can do that after I figure out what I'm doing with the other 2. You know what? I'm gonna have Remy and Tanya go ahead and rest. Like, go to bed.
Okay. So Remy and Tanya are resting. And then what? Sorry, what did you say about the last one?
Finley was going to briefly interrogate these guys, and then I think I was gonna have her rest as well.
Okay. How are you interrogating them?
Which one of the 3 that we brought up from the bottom seems the most lucid and together?
I guess they all are, relatively speaking, at around the same level.
Wonderful. I'm gonna pick the one in the middle.
Okay, that's the one who got their blood sucked out.
Awesome. I assume they're sitting. I'm gonna say they're sitting because I tied them up,
Yes.
so they're sitting.
Yes.
I'm gonna tilt up that person's chin with kind of the... not the sharp part of my axe, but my axe.
Mm-hmm.
How many of you are down there?
Fuck you.
I mean, if you don't want food, we can play it this way.
Yeah. Make an intimidation check.
My Foundry has just gone black, so...
Yeah, I know mine did too.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm fiddling with trying to get modules to work.
That's alright. I just needed to know if it was my computer problem, or
No, it's a Foundry
Okay.
problem. Also, before I forget, if you know that mic issue I was having last week,
yeah.
if you hear that happening again, please let me know.
Okay.
All right. Is your computer back?
Okay, there, it's loading. Let me just pull up Finley's sheet so I can roll intimidation. Come on. Ready, please? There we go. That's a 19.
19. That is just barely a success. I don't know. There's probably at least a few dozen.
Few dozen. Shit.
Just on this few levels.
What were you after down there?
Guarding.
Guarding?
Yeah, it's what we're all doing.
When did the collapse happen?
Just earlier today.
Right, so no hoping that anybody starved to death down there.
I fucking hope not.
Well, would make my life easier.
Sure it would.
I don't want to kill you.
Yeah, sure you fucking don't.
Well, you are tied up here instead of a smear down there, so.
Yeah, in such a better situation this'll be.
I'm sorry,
Having
do you
that
do you
blue
want me to
one feed
behead
on
you?
me
Because
daily or
I can
something, I
really
don't
make
know.
that work.
Make an intimidation check.
That is a 26.
soldier goes silent.
If I had my way, you'd be out there. But we can't do that without the rest of your lot coming in here and slaughtering us, so... Welcome to the team.
No response.
And then she's just gonna leave and go take a fucking nap because
Okay.
everything's just painful. Oh, why? Oh, it's moving both of them. That's... fine. Okay. That's all 5 of mine.
Okay. All right, Jacob. What are your characters doing?
Oh boy. So first things first. Let me just get my sheets out. Okay. So first things first. Strux needs some healing.
Okay.
Needs a little bit of healing if he can find someone to do that, which is pretty much good. So he's gonna rest.
Well, currently, everyone who could heal Strux, I believe, is resting.
Okay, so then honestly,
So you'd
everyone's
have
just
to
gonna
go
rest
talk
then.
to somebody.
Yeah. So, honestly, I feel like everyone is just gonna rest because everyone's out of stamina except for Pazitsky. So Pazitsky can kind of just walk around, but he's still fatigued, and I don't really want him to be fatigued, but I also don't want to have my characters just do nothing. So,
Well, fatigue will go away after a full night's rest.
okay,
So after like 8 hours of sleep, fatigue will go away.
okay, so yeah, Mitch, Strux, and Dexter are going to rest, and then Pazitsky,
Okay.
yes, and then Pazitsky is going to go, I guess, to Rin. He's gonna ask, like, hey yo, what the hap is fucking in right now? What's going on? What's the dealio? Wait, I forgot. I had a voice for Pazitsky. Right, it was Southern.
No, it was not.
Yes, it was. It was Southern.
For Pazitsky?
Yeah, for Pazitsky. Pazitsky was Southern. Dexter was just kind of like I don't know,
Dexter.
goblin-y.
Dexter is you.
Yes, Dexter is if I had unlimited access to cocaine. Mitch is just Mitch is normal, I think. Wait, what was Mitch?
I thought Pazitsky was kind of like Polish. I thought that was kind of his deal.
I think
No, that's just his name.
yeah,
I
that was just his
think.
name. Yeah, no, that was just his name. We thought that we were worried that his name was accidentally going to be a word in Polish, so that's what that was about.
Regardless, Pazitsky approaches Rin,
The sleeping woman?
and asks what's going on. Rin is not quite asleep yet. And asks what's going on, and Rin just looks at Pazitsky. She's clearly very tired, still drenched in sweat. I don't know. I think at this point our primary goal is to get as many of our people out of there as we can.
All right, well, maybe we should rest up then so that we don't die when we go in there trying to find these folks we're looking for.
Yes.
Make sure everyone's all healed up like.
Yes. All right.
Is this
I need Jacob Perez.
Okay.
Oh yeah, go. Speak.
I was gonna say Pazitsky immediately shuts his eyes on the spot, collapses, and falls asleep. But
That checks out.
That does track.
Yeah,
I need you to pick a D20 for me.
a D20. Oh boy. Okay. So Emma, how's number 5 look?
Well, we have no notes, and I don't think that my opinion is allowed to count anyway, even if you had picked the worst one, so...
It would have changed. It would have changed my answer.
No, I understand, but I don't think that Cam would have changed the answer. I think he would have gone with...
Okay, yes.
You would be correct.
That's
okay,
a fair assessment.
Also, before I forget, I should probably roll you all some new hero points.
That'd be neat.
Be a pretty.
Oh, I thought
cool
Foundry had just
show
deleted the
thing to do.
card stack for a second. I was about to be so angry because it takes me like an hour to set these damn things up.
So,
all right.
Question
Yeesh.
now.
Yeah.
Does each character get a hero point, or do we, the player, get one hero point?
You, the player, gets a
Okay.
hero point. Yeah, you, the player, gets a hero point.
Good to know.
Yeah. All right. So, it is now still the morning. You are all attempting to get some sleep in the ruins of Gauntlight.
Which I'm sure is super easy.
Yeah, there's mosquitoes biting you on a regular basis. It's really humid. You know, even for a spring day, it's really humid here in this swamp. And there's like constantly flies buzzing in your ears. It's not a pleasant experience by any stretch of the imagination.
Yay.
And especially since you're all just currently trying to sleep on stone floors. So all right. So Finley.
Yep.
As you are attempting to drift off into unconsciousness, you think you hear noise coming from the room next to you.
The one with all the people, or the one with the
Stairs going-
stairway down?
The one with the stairway down.
Yeah, that was the way I was afraid it was gonna go. I guess I'll go peek in there.
You go peek in there. And it looks like there... You don't see anything right now, but it's a spiral staircase. So you'd probably need to get a little closer to observe it.
Well, shit. Would we say that my nap was enough to say that I spent a resolve point?
You've been napping for around 10 minutes, so sure.
Okay. I'm gonna go see...
Wait, I can't remember. Are resolve rests 10 minutes, or...
I think so.
I don't remember. I think that 10 minutes sounds right to me. I can't
If it's not
remember
10
anything
minutes,
right
then I think
now.
we've been doing resolve rests wrong. But, okay, I'm gonna see who I can find to take a look with me. Guess I'm gonna go this way. I'm gonna peek my head in.
You peek your head in and see Pazitsky out cold on a pile of rocks.
Noises are coming from the staircase. Who's willing to come check it out?
You get no response, apparently.
Okay. Go back to the other room.
Do you leave all the doors open?
No, I'll close the doors.
Okay.
Because
Go around to
apparently...
the other side to close that door, and you come back around to this side.
There are noises coming from the stairwell. Anyone wanna join to check it out?
Remy seems to be the only one in particularly good shape.
Well, I guess it's...
Davina says, I gotta protect these guys in case anything goes wrong.
Okay. Remy, you said your name was? That's my name. Looks like it's you and
this
me.
This title, I think the title of this episode should be Emma Becomes Schizophrenic.
Well, I wouldn't have to be if one of Jacob's characters had responded when I opened the door.
All my characters are resting. Are we done with the resting?
So were mine.
Your rest has... Alright, so... Finley, you've acquired Remy.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And
I'll have Dexter go along.
Too late.
Okay.
Um...
Just accepted it. Too late, alright.
As you have acquired Remy and you start going back,
Mm-hmm.
you hear footsteps now coming up the stairs. Rapid footsteps. Sounds like there's multiple sets. As 3 Inara soldiers climb out into the pit. It's time for initiative.
So where are Emma's characters? Can I see where they are?
In the pit room.
Pit room.
Yeah.
Did the module we had that allowed us to pop out the sheets go away?
Oh, it might have. Sorry.
It's okay.
Not much I can do about that right now.
We'll make do.
I didn't have time to try updating things, so it might be back next time, but
It's
I
okay.
didn't have time to update anything.
We'll figure it out.
Alright. So, here we are. Initiative time. Remy and Finley, go ahead and roll.
Don't mind me. I'm the only person who exists, I guess.
Yup.
So, good session, guys. I'll see y'all next week.
I
Oh
will
God, I
go to
hate this
Florida
new
and
chat layout
murder
so
you.
much.
Don't you even worry your pretty little head about it.
So, we are starting at the top of round 1 with Remy.
Yep.
Oh, that is weird how there's just a big old fucking marker underneath her.
It does show initiative, I guess.
It shows where you are.
I'm certainly there. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead. Go here.
There we go. Marker turned off. That good. That was fucking annoying.
Yup. Okay. We're just gonna do that move. And then we're gonna shoot at the optimistic stern wanderer.
Alright. Go ahead and roll to hit.
That's a 21.
That is a hit. Go ahead and roll damage. And this is with one of your guns, yeah?
With my dueling pistol, yes.
Excellent. What did you get?
My apologies. It's gonna take me a second to get around because of the thing. 5 piercing damage.
5 points of piercing damage. Alright. You clip this guy the second you get an eye on him.
Alright, and then I'm gonna reload my gun.
Alright, and that is all 3 of your actions. A shot has now rung out. So I would say at this point, Paziski, Mitch, and Strux. Let's see about some perception checks. Paziski, I would say Paziski wakes up. Mitch does not. and Strux wakes up. So Paziski and Strux have woken up to this gunshot. Would they like to
Okay.
join initiative?
Yes, they will be joining
Excellent.
initiative. You said
So go
Pazitsky
ahead and roll
Strux.
initiative. Yes, go ahead and roll initiative for Paziski and Strux. They will join at the top of next round. Or wherever they are in next round.
Hell yeah, Pazitsky. God damn. Hell yeah, Strux. God
All right.
damn.
All right. So,
He's on the other side of this door here, right?
yes, they're both
Excellent.
right there. All right, that brings us now to the optimistic Stern Wanderer, who is going to take an action to climb up this ladder, and is now face to face with Finley, wielding a light mace and a mangosh. He's going to use an action to hunt prey on Finley, and is then going to give a swing with his light mace. That is a 24 to hit.
That hits.
Excellent. And he's hunted prey. All right. That is going to be 4 points of bludgeoning damage. And that is the end of the Stern Wanderer's turn.
Yay.
Brings us now to the unhinged Fey-like neophyte, who I don't think I've shown you before.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. What does that look like? What am I?
Did that work?
No.
Why is it not? Is it showing it to you?
No.
What the fuck? I really don't like whatever they did here. That fucked this up, because this isn't even a module. This is a base Foundry function that they fucked up now, where I can't show you anything. It says show the contents of undefined to all players. It's a fucking image. Well, I guess you don't get to know what they look like.
Okay.
But they're in sort of tattered leaf-like robes. Or not even robes. They're wearing a hood, tattered leaf-like skirt and top. And it actually looks like their skin is almost reptilian and shiny. So they are going to go ahead and cast an electric arc at Finley.
That's nice.
Excuse me. At Finley and at Remy.
Oh, with both of us. That's nice.
So that is a reflex save from both, please.
Sure thing. Alright, let's start with Finley. Okay, that's a 21 for Finley.
21. Okay, that is a failure.
And that's a 24 for Remy.
That is a success. So Remy will take half damage. Finley will take full. So that is going to be 10 points of electricity to Finley and 5 to Remy.
Okay.
The neophyte will then take a few steps over to here. That is the end of their turn. That brings us now to Finley.
Okay. Finley is going to use one action to rage.
Okay.
Just have to add the rage condition to myself somehow. Oh, never mind. I can't rage. I'm fatigued.
Ah, yes, you are.
Never mind. I'm not raging. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and do an intimidating strike on this optimistic Stern Warrior Wanderer
All
fellow.
right.
Let's see. Hopefully that goes well. That is a 25 to hit.
25, that is in fact a hit. Go ahead and roll damage. And what does Intimidating Strike do?
Let me reread it right after it. If you hit and deal damage, the target is frightened 1.
Alright. Target is now frightened 1, and that was how much damage? 16?
It's in the chat. Yes, it's 16.
Alright. This Wanderer is now bloodied.
Excellent news. And I'm going to use my last action to channel elements.
Okay. Your kinetic gate is now active. That brings us now to the overwhelmed Hallowed Squire.
That's me. I'm just... You said overwhelmed?
You are an overwhelmed Hallowed Squire.
I'll take Hallowed
right.
and Squire if it means that we acknowledge I'm overwhelmed, yes.
So, excuse me. So they're going to take one action to move over to here, another action to climb up the ladder, another action to move over to here. So they're now they're now on the other side of the wall. And that is the end of that Hallowed Squire's turn. That brings us around to the top of round 2. Paziski and Strux are now in the initiative order. Paziski, you are up.
Zitsky's up.
Yeah.
Well, goddamn. Okay, well, Paziski's going to walk over. I'm going to open the door.
All right, 2 actions down, 1 action remaining.
He's then going to...
You see on the other side there are, in fact, people in the pit.
This guy is within my range. Do I have a clear line of sight on him?
Yeah, well, not super clear. He has, like, partial cover.
Okay, so... You know what? Nah, I'm gonna do this. So, I'm just gonna... That's 10 feet. 20 feet. That's my turn.
All right, that is your turn. That brings us now to Remy.
Okay, Remy is going to shoot the bloodied guy, or at least attempt to.
All right.
Hopefully in the face. That is a 21 to hit.
A 21 does hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
I'm so sorry, I did my math wrong.
Oh?
It's a 31. I missed it.
Oh! Yeah, that's a critical
Never
hit!
mind. I was like, oh, a 15 and a 16, and I was like, oh yeah, the 6 and the 5 make a 1, and then it would be 21, and I forgot to add the 10. It's a 31.
It's okay.
I never said
It's okay.
that I
Critical
was
hit.
a mathematician.
It's okay.
Okay. We're gonna shoot that man for 14 points of damage.
Huge amount of damage. You just bang! Right through the skull. He is now dead. Well, not dead. He's
Okay, I was gonna ask. I
dying.
was like,
Right.
He's dead?
Sorry, it defaults.
I understand.
The brain and the Foundry default to the things. He's not actually dead, but he is now. Well, actually, critical hit, so he's now dying to immediately. Plus, because he was on a ladder, I'm gonna say he falls.
Okay.
And takes an additional bit of dying. How much damage was that again?
16? No.
16?
16?
Okay.
It was 14.
Okay. So yeah, he is now dying 3 at the bottom of that ladder.
Okay.
All right. 2 actions remaining.
I'm gonna go ahead and do a running reload.
Okay.
Why can I not? Oh, did I accidentally close the door? Yes, I did. Run there.
That is going to take a bit of a balance action to get over there.
Christ. Okay.
So go ahead and roll acrobatics.
I'm gonna do this in a calculator this time. That's a 25.
25. Okay. I'm going to call that a success, so difficult terrain.
Yep, that's the thing.
All right. That brings us now to Strux.
Strux. Well, if I can figure out how to
Strux.
select Strux, that would be very helpful because I cannot see him and it will not allow me to click on his token. Oh, there we go.
If you click
Never
on
mind.
him
Got
in
it.
the initiative tracker.
Yeah, I gathered. Okay,
Alright, cool.
so
So, one action to move.
that's 25 feet. And he's going to take another 10 feet to get inside. Well, actually, he's going to take another 20 feet to get inside. And then on his
One action
last
remaining.
turn, yes, one action remaining, he is going to attack with his striking big boom gun.
Okay, who are you attacking?
He's going to be attacking this fella right here.
Alright, the neophyte.
I was so afraid you were about to attack the man who's dying in the pit.
Honestly, me too.
That was...
What'd you get?
So that was an 18 plus 14, which is a... What is that?
It has the result right there.
No, it doesn't. Wait, where?
Yes, it does. I see
Yeah,
it.
the chat. Hold on. 32.
32, that is a critical hit.
Wonderful. Okay, so I will be clicking on the critical thing. Modifiers, that's good.
So that's 2d12 times 2 plus 1d12. That's
That
fucking
is 36,
insane.
36 points of damage.
36 points of damage as you just blast this guy.
Yep, he has
Who is
been
now
blasted.
bloodied. Alright. And I believe that is your turn. And the big boom gun is now unloaded. Yes. Big boom gun is now unloaded. That brings us now to the optimistic stern wanderer here, who is not dead, but needs to make a dying check. Succeeds their dying check. This is now dying 2. That brings us now to that unhinged Fey-like neophyte who Strux just attacked. So, she's going to turn, and you see as she sort of pulls this, she puts her hands together and pulls, seemingly from nowhere, just this string of acid between her fingers, which forms into the shape of a bow, which she pulls back and fires this acidic arrow at Strux.
Well, that
So
seems
that is
horrible.
going to be an attack roll against you. That is going to be a 34 to hit Strux.
That'll be a critical.
Okay, so holy shit, this is gonna be a lot of damage. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, this might kill Strux.
I don't know if it'll kill you, but all right.
Well, it'll do something.
26 points of acid damage.
And
you begin taking persistent acid.
Well,
1d6
that's
persistent
not very
acid.
needed because he's dead.
Not dead, unconscious.
He's unconscious.
How much did
And
he take?
the acid will continue to damage you at the end of each of your turns. So you are now dying 2 because that was a critical hit. And the persistent acid will go after you at the end of each of your turns. So that is that cast. And then this this neophyte is going to hold on a sec. Let's see. Okay. This neophyte is going to now take, now that the acid has dissipated from their fingers, they're going to act like they're sprinkling something in the air and just huck it in the direction of Finley, which it bursts into a cloud of sparkling dust in It's a 5-foot burst. I'm gonna say it lands like right there. So I need a will save from Finley.
Okay, that's a 23.
23, that is just barely a success, so you're not affected by this fairy dust. Alright, so that cloud does not matter anymore. It is the end of the neophyte's turn. That brings us now to Finley.
Okay. Finley's gonna start by trying to tumble through our lovely
Alright,
overwhelmed bloke.
acrobatics, please.
That's a 19.
19, that is a success.
Okay, so I can go full distance, right?
Nope, you can just go,
I can just go
to
there.
the other side of them.
Okay.
Yes. So that is one action.
Can I get here in 2 actions?
Did you account for moving through Paziski's space?
I think so.
Yeah, in that case, sure.
Okay. And then I am going to use my last action to cast Ocean's Balm on Strux. So I just have to
Alright.
touch him, and then he gains 3d8 HP, gains resistance to fire for a minute, so in case that happens.
Okay.
And then he gets the effect of Ocean's Balm.
Excellent. So Strux now has the effect of Ocean's Bomb, and Finley, why don't you go ahead and run?
I'll roll the dice. That is 15 points of healing to Strux.
Strux regains 15 hit points.
That concludes my turn. Thank you.
So, Strux, go ahead and adjust your hit points, and that should hopefully, deal with your dying and your wounded on its own.
So roll what you said?
You're not rolling anything, you're adding the hit points you just got.
Oh, yes. How many was
That
that?
brings us to the overwhelmed squire.
Wait, how many hit points did I get?
15.
Okay, thank you. Yay!
So you are now wounded 1 and conscious and have resistance of 2 to fire. So the overwhelmed squire is now going to take an action to slide down the edge of the pit. Take a second action to cast Lay on Hands on the Wanderer here. So the Wanderer gains 6 hit points and is no longer dying. They are still prone. And the Squire is then going to take their final action to climb back up this ladder. Alright, that is the end of their turn. That brings us to the top of round 3 with Paziski.
Pazitsky, the boy Pazitsky. So Pazitsky is going to do some, a little bit of, just a little bit of torture, just a little bit of torture, Oh, by the way, since I've rested, do I reset my spell slots?
No, you haven't rested. You've taken a resolve rest. There's a difference.
Bummer. Okay.
It looks like you also didn't update that you took a resolve rest, so nothing has changed.
Yes. Fantastic. So, Pazitsky is going to use Impending Doom on this guy right here.
Excellent. So, was that your last 3rd level slot?
That was.
Alright, make sure you mark that off. Alright, so the Hallowed Squire here needs to make a will save, correct?
Let me see. Yes, so he will have to do a save will see a DC 21 will save.
Alright, well that is a 27.
fuck.
So that is a success. Creature is unaffected for the first round. On the second round, becomes off guard. On the third round, becomes frightened 1. At the end of the third round, takes half damage. All right, so at the start of your next turn, Paziski, the Hallowed Squire will become off guard. So remember that. You have 1 action remaining.
Okay, I have 1 action remaining. My last action, I'm going to cast Courageous Anthem.
Okay, excellent. And that is a 60-foot emanation. So yeah, you firmly get all of your allies in that. All right. Lovely. So now everyone is under the effects of that Courageous Anthem. That brings us now to Remy.
Okay. Remy is going to shoot at the unhinged Fey-like neophyte.
All right.
That is a 30.
A 30, you say. That is, in fact, a critical hit.
Wondrous news. Okay, that is 25 points of damage.
25 points of damage. So this neophyte is now...
Presumably dying, not dead.
yes. Dying 2.
What exciting news. Okay, and then I have 2 actions remaining. So I'm gonna go ahead... running reload over here.
Okay. You have 1 action remaining.
I should not, that's a 2 action thing.
Running reload? I'm looking at 1 action right
Isn't
now.
it? Oh, shit. Okay. I guess
It would kind of be a shitty action if it was 2 action and didn't do anything else.
that's fair. Well, I guess while I'm here, I'm gonna try and shoot at this person.
Okay, what's the range on your dueling pistol again? Just for reference. I'm assuming it's greater than 30.
60 feet.
Oh, yeah, you're good. Go ahead and roll ahead.
Well, it's a 15.
15, unfortunately, does not hit.
That's alright, okay.
Alright, that is the end of Remy's turn. That brings us now to the Optimistic Stern Wanderer, who stands up as the first action. As second action is going to climb this ladder. And while still on the ladder, is going to take a swing at Paziski with his mace. That is going to be... Oh, right, and they are off guard currently because they are on the ladder, technically. That's worth noting. Either way, against Paziski, that is going to be a 23 to hit. Against Paziski.
A what hit to hit?
A 23.
That will hit.
All right. So Paziski is going to take from that 7 points of bludgeoning damage as you just get clocked in the chest. Also, for the record, Paziski did get his leg crunched by by that alien.
The fuck?
That actually did happen. That was not us gaslighting you. That did in fact happen.
Oh my god.
Sir, there is a recorded record. You could go listen to it if you don't believe.
So, that is the end of that Stern Wanderer's turn. That brings us now to Strux, who is currently conscious, but prone. What would Strux like to do?
So Strux... What can Strux do? Do I have anything right now? So Um, yeah, I don't know. So I'm wounded, right? But I can stand.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm going to stand. That is going to be
Alright,
my
that is
first
one action
action.
to stand.
Then my second action, this guy is dying, this guy is bloody, this guy's unharmed, but he's going to be damaged in a minute. So I'm going to shoot my gun at him. Actually, no, second action is going to be changing grip to barricade buster.
Okay, second action is to pull out the barricade buster.
Oh
alright,
wait, no,
so
I need an action.
You'd have to drop. You would also have to drop the big boom gun.
Okay, yeah, scratch that then. Not doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, we're using the big boom gun on
Right,
this
which
on
is
this
currently
guy right
unloaded.
here. Is it
Currently not
unloaded?
loaded.
Oh,
Correct.
okay, so I have to load it, and that's my turn.
No, one
I
action to
still have
load,
one turn.
one action to fire.
Right. Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
You're good.
I'm stupid.
It's okay.
I beg your pardon.
It's okay. I think we're all having a day right now.
That is
Foundry
completely
updated, and
true.
our brains haven't updated with it.
So go ahead and roll the hit.
Roll to hit. That is going to be 21.
21. That is a hit. Go ahead and roll damage with your big boom gun.
Yay. I don't know why, but the way you said that was upsetting. 13.
Okay. 13 points of damage. This guy, once again, gets knocked out.
Oh no.
Yeah, gets knocked the fuck out. Is now immediately dying 2 because of wounded, and falls to the ground. So I'm gonna say that they are now dying 3. All right, and that is the end of Strux's turn. You are ending your turn with your gun unloaded. That brings us now to Finley. Oh right, Strux has persistent damage. Strux, I need you to roll your recovery check, please, as you take 4 points of acid damage.
Four points of acid damage. I need to
Yes.
make a what save?
Recovery check. So that's just a flat check.
Okay, so flat d20 check. How do I do that on here?
You can just hit the roll recovery check button in the chat, and that'll do all the magic for you.
Okay, here we go. Wow, look at all that magic. I got a 4.
Oh boy, you are still taking persistent acid damage. Congratulations. Finley,
Oh.
you're up.
Boy.
Hey, Finley is gonna start by battle medicing our boy Strux because,
Okay.
you know. Well, that was a natural 1, so I'm gonna go ahead and hero point that.
Oof. Okay.
Okay, that's a 22.
Significantly better. That is a success. 2d8.
We don't need to add Strux's death to Finley's, conscience.
Would be
That's
pretty
7
funny,
points
though.
of healing to Strux.
All right. Strux regains 7 hit points.
Okay.
Finley has 2 actions remaining. As Strux regains 7 hit points.
Now, remind me, what is the distance that I can do my elemental blast at?
Well, if you click open the attack,
Oh, there we go.
it'll tell you all
Under
the
the
things.
water.
There we
30
go. So
feet.
30. Yes.
Okay, how far away am I from this point? Okay, that's about 20 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and do a 2-action elemental blast against the lovely, wonderful, overwhelmed, hollowed squire. We're going to go ahead and give it cold damage, just for the hell of it.
All right.
That's a 19.
As Strux regains 7 hit points. 19 does hit, as Strux regains 7 hit points. I give up. All right, go ahead and roll damage.
Okay, that is 13 points of cold damage to our lovely, overwhelmed
All
Hallowed
right,
Squire.
13 points of cold damage. They are now bloodied.
That completes my turn.
All right, excellent. As Strux regains 7 hit points. All right, that was my last try. I'm actually done now. That brings us now to the overwhelmed Hallowed Squire, who is going to start out by taking an action to clamber off the ladder and try to balance across here. So I'm going to roll an acrobatics check for them there. That's a success. So they're able to get over to there. And then second action to go up to Paziski. And third action, they're going to attempt to strike Paziski with their longsword. That is a 17 to hit. Paziski.
17 to hit Paziski will not hit.
All right, then. That is the end of the Squire's turn. That brings us to the top of round 3 with Paziski. This Hallowed Squire is now going to take the first effect of Impending Doom, which is becoming off guard. Paziski, you are up. What would you like to do?
So Paziski is this guy that I first. Okay, he's over here.
Right in front of you.
Conscious, unconscious. Okay, and bloody. So Paziski is going to Paziski is going to point blank come forward and fire.
All right.
3 action.
Okay, 30-foot emanation. That will get... All right, cool. So
Oh wait, that's a radius thing. I thought it was a cone. No. Wait. Okay, yeah. I don't wanna turn half of my team deaf.
Yeah, no, it's an emanation.
In which
Okay.
Paziski murders the entire crew.
Yeah, that'd be a bit of a bummer. Okay, so you know what? He's actually gonna just deck the shit out of this guy, or he's gonna try to.
Okay, go ahead and roll a hit.
Well, that's a 12.
A 12, unfortunately, does not hit, as your slimy hand just swacks off of his chainmail.
Yeah, so he just kind of throws that punch, and just goes fuck it, that's what I get for trying something new. And he just telekinetic projectiles a rock at his head.
Okay, go ahead and roll a hit.
Okay, so that's going to be
With multiple attack penalty.
yes. So I'm going to assume this is bludgeoning.
Yes.
I like how Foundry just said that he made that attack a year ago.
What?
That was the timestamp on it
Really?
when it popped up on my thing.
The timestamp says a minute for me.
Inexplicably, when it popped up, it said that it was a year ago.
Weird.
So I got 14.
Was that including multiple attack penalty?
Oh no, it wasn't. So
that's -5, so that's a 9. So that is a miss. All right then. That brings us now to this Fey-like neophyte who is currently dying. Let me roll their dying check. They fail and are now dying 3. That brings us now to Remy Rattington.
Okay, Remy Rattington is going to go ahead and try and shoot our lovely overwhelmed Hallowed Squire with a pistol.
Excellent. Oh, I really don't like this new measuring thing that Foundry's doing. I clearly did not go through as many of the settings as I thought I did.
Okay, that's a 35 to hit this Squire.
That's a critical hit, firmly.
Okay, that's 26 points of damage.
26 points of damage. All right. This squire is now dying.
Okay, so everyone's dying.
Yes. Yes. That is dying too immediately. All right. How much total damage was that again? 16?
It was like 25. Let me look. It was 26.
26. Give me a moment, please.
Oh no.
Okay. So, no massive damage. Alright then. So, yeah, you now have 3 Inara soldiers currently bleeding out. What would you like to do?
Are we sticking with initiative order until it's done, or just kind of going?
They're unconscious, so I guess we can get out of initiative.
Okay, in that case, Finley and Remy will start trying to, you know, keep them from dying.
Alright. So I am gonna need Strux to make a quick recovery check. As Strux takes 6 points of acid damage from Persistent. Recovery check, please.
Recovery check.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna hero
You
point
are-
that.
It doesn't mean anything except that you're still taking acid damage.
Oh, okay, good. Good.
Yeah.
Then I will not hero point that.
Alright. So, who's trying to stabilize?
Remy and Finley are both trying to stabilize the people.
Alright, go ahead and move over to the people that you're trying to stabilize.
Let's try and stabilize that. Well, not literally.
Okay.
I can't move him now, but...
There you go. Congratulations. Alright, so go ahead and roll medicine checks for both of them, and the Hallowed Squire is going to make a quick dying check here. That is a failure, so they go up to dying 3.
Okay, so Finley's guy rolled... We rolled a 17 for his check.
And you're just trying to stabilize?
Just trying to stabilize. Remy rolled a nat 1 for her medicine check, and I'm out of hero points.
Sorry, and you said, what did you roll for the first one?
17.
17. That is unfortunately a failure. So you are unable to stabilize the Wanderer, and there was a nat 1 on the Neophyte.
Yeah.
Then dying value increases by 1, meaning that the Neophyte here is going to take a near-death injury. Major psychological trauma.
It's fair.
From getting shot in the fucking head. And dying is going to reset now. So now, wounded 1, dying 2. All right. That was one turn.
Finley's just gonna go ahead and
None
cast
of them have been stabilized.
Ocean's Balm on all of them.
Okay. Let's see.
It's one action. The only stipulation is that the same person can't get it twice within 10 minutes.
Right. You also aren't going to be able to get to them all in this round.
Okay.
So I'm guessing you're starting with the Stern Wanderer in front of you?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and roll 3d8.
And I might have to punch him out if he, you know, is a real dick about it, but that's fine. 17.
17 hit points. So he is now awake. That was 27, not 17. What the fuck is wrong with me? Now awake. Apparently, this Foundry update has also tanked performance like crazy.
Yay!
All right, is now awake. Eyes shoot open. Immediately reaches for his weapon. So I guess we're going back into initiative.
Fuck's sake.
Unless you have something you can do right now.
Can I just grab his wrist before he hits his weapon? We're not trying to kill you.
Make an intimidation check. Or diplomacy, not intimidation, sorry.
That is a natural 20 for a total of 26.
The Wanderer looks at you, breathing heavily, looks around, relaxes his hand, puts both hands up in the air where you can see them.
Thank you.
Alright, so that brings us now to the Neophyte, who's going to need to make a dying check real quick. That is a success. So they're now dying 1. And that brings us down to the Squire. He's going to make a dying check. That is a success. They're now dying 2. And Strux, make a recovery check as you take 4 points of acid damage.
Okay, so Strux is almost dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be rolling my recovery check. That is a... So God wants to kill Strux. God wants to kill Strux.
Yeah, Strux is still going to be taking persistent acid damage, as nobody has done anything to help him. And he can't help himself, clearly, as acid just eats through your skin. Alright then. What are we doing now? There's still 2 more soldiers bleeding out here, and you now have one who is surrendered, but not properly captured.
I'm gonna go ahead and go... I'm gonna lead this man with me over here. And then cast... what's it called? Ocean's Balm, and gonna have Remy Raddington hold on to this neophyte.
Okay.
So, 3d8. That is 12 points of healing.
12 points of healing. Alright, they are now awake. And... What did you said Remy was holding on to them?
Yeah, like keeping them from grabbing their weapons and stuff.
Alright. So they immediately, upon seeing Remy holding on to them, how is Remy holding on to them currently? That's the real question.
Just kind of arms behind the back.
Okay. Okay. So they would be facing Finley then.
Yes.
They look at you. And they just go, whew! And this puff of breath comes out from behind their mask. This green air straight into Finley's face. I need you to make a fortitude save.
That's a 12.
A 12. That is a critical failure. So you are going to take an immediate 8 points of poison damage, and you begin taking 4 points of persistent poison.
Why do you people insist on making it so much simpler to just kill you?
So what... you do not get a response from the neophyte, who seems to be inhaling again.
I'm gonna bring the other guy with me as we climb out, and we're gonna go over to this guy.
Okay. So you drag this person up the ladder with you.
Oh yeah.
And let me go ahead and roll another dying check for this Hallett Squire here. That is a natural 20, so they actually stabilize on their own.
Awesome. I'm just gonna leave them there in Pazitsky's care.
Cool. Strux! Make a recovery check as you take persistent damage again.
Well, I'm dead.
Well, you're not dead. You're unconscious. You do take 4 points of persistent damage. Go ahead and roll a recovery check either way. Look
19.
at that! You finally recover from the persistent damage after it knocks you out.
I'm going
So
to...
now Strux is actively bleeding out. It's just a constant cycle.
And he's gonna start screaming. Okay.
I say this is a metaphor for something, but considering who specifically this is happening to, but I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna just leave you for a second. We're gonna deal with you in a second. I'm gonna turn to this optimistic stern wanderer. What's your name?
I really thought you were going to say autistic for a second.
No, that's me, dumbass.
Sorry, I found that way too entertaining.
What's your name?
All right, what did you... Gurgel.
Virgil, do you think you can get your friend over there to stop spitting poison?
He looks over at the neophyte who's trying very hard to turn her neck all the way around to get to Remy. Yeah, no, nobody has control over them.
Well, someone better. Otherwise, there's not really a lot of options other than killing them.
Looks back at the neophyte who at this point looks like he's just trying to figure out a way to bite Remy.
If it bites Remy, Remy will bite back. She has a Jaws attack.
I mean, they are currently wearing a mask,
Okay.
so they probably couldn't bite Bemmy. Bemmy?
Bemmy?
Remy. Listen, I'm not going to tell you how to do your thing, but I can... Yeah, you're not gonna win diplomacy with those ones. They're crazy, right? Crazy.
Look, I'd let you out of this building if I could, but if we bring down our wall, we're gonna get swarmed and we're all gonna die. So, you kinda gotta work with us here.
Yeah. I don't gotta do shit. Strux, make a dying check. Strux, make a dying check.
Strux, make a dying check.
Yes, please.
Dying check. How do I...
Just roll a
It's
d20.
just a flat check. Just roll a d20.
Though
where?
I think they moved where the dice are, which is annoying.
Oh,
Yeah,
here we go. Got it,
unfortunately,
got it.
yeah, because the dice were
14.
from a module, and I think that module hasn't been updated.
Yay.
14. That is a success, so you are now dying 1. Cool. Finley can continue their conversation now. Oh yeah, also actually, Finley does take persistent poison
of
here.
course.
So go ahead and make your recovery check as you take 4 points of poison damage.
That's an 11.
11. You are still taking poison damage.
Yeah, that sounds right. I don't think I've ever not taken more than 5 turns to get rid of persistent damage.
So, yeah, go ahead and continue your conversation if you'd like.
I don't know what you Inara soldiers want.
The Wanderer shrugs. That's above my pay grade. I just do what I'm told.
Why?
Because they pay good.
Well, they probably pay damn good to be a
Feed my
hostage
family
here.
somehow, yeah? Well, once I get out of here, I'd imagine I'll get right back on the horse. So,
Excellent. So are you willing to be quiet and cooperate?
well, I don't see as much of a choice if I'm gonna survive.
Plan.
So, as long as you feed me, and I don't get tortured or anything, then, yeah, I can keep quiet.
It's not really a priority for most of us.
Well, that's good. Don't love the specification of most, but...
Okay, we need a proper prison cell.
You also need to account for the fact that you need to feed all of these people now, in addition to your own people with your limited food source. For each prisoner you take captive,
know.
you need to feed them.
Remind me, what's behind Bart?
You don't know.
I'm just like gonna tell her, yeah, you're feeding them with your rations. I'm not giving them none of my food.
And at that, I need Strux to make a dying check and Finley to make a recovery check, please.
Yeah.
That's a 12.
12. You are still taking persistent. 10. Strux fails his dying check and is up to dying 2.
Fine, I'll go over here, cast a... Well, has it been 10 minutes?
No.
I will treat his wounds.
Okay, so that will take a total of 10 minutes.
Never mind. I am going to stick a healing potion in his mouth and just make him be quiet.
Okay. So, what kind of healing potion?
Never mind. I don't have the healing potion. I have to go over to Remy, I have to grab the healing potion, and then I have to stick it in his mouth.
Great. In the time that it takes to do that, make a recovery check.
Awesome.
And Strux, make a dying check, please.
That's a 13. We have increased 1
13.
with each additional thing. It's a lesser healing potion.
Strux, make a dying check, please.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
That's a critical failure, so your dying value increases by 2.
I get back over
meaning
to
that
him.
you will now take... Hold on.
fucking Christ.
He does not instantly die, because remember, we're using the injury rules. So he will take a near-death injury. So let me... If I can get Foundry to cooperate, near-death injury, major psychological trauma for Strux.
What is major psychological... Like, I don't want a
I don't know! I've only ever rolled fucking psychological trauma!
But we're all just traumatized.
Like, that's...
Okay, I stick the fucking
so
potion in his mouth.
what-
He gets 15 healing.
Great. Strux heals 15 hit points. Oh my god. And just to let you know, Jacob, what psychological trauma does. This is major psychological trauma. So, whatever has just happened to you has proven damaging to your mind. Make sure to keep track of how you receive this condition and remember that you can get it multiple times. So, in this case, I'm going to say you receive this as a result of acid. So you are traumatized by acid.
Lovely.
Now what this means is that whenever you see, hear about, experience, or otherwise encounter the source of your trauma, you need to make a DC 20 will save. And each time you make that save, there's a chance that the DC will increase or decrease. If it ever decreases to 0, you've overcome your trauma, and you have the ability to, by going through certain actions and having conversations about it, you have the ability to possibly work on overcoming your trauma naturally. But yeah, for the most part, that's not going away anytime soon.
So,
So you are now traumatized by acid.
I'm traumatized by acid. I remove this.
Mm-hmm. So, Finley, make a recovery check, please.
I have PTSD.
Yes, that is what trauma is.
That's a 12.
12. We've gotten back down one.
Yep.
You're still taking poison damage.
Well, we're just gonna roll with that. I'm going over to Bart Scrampton.
You start heading over to Bart Scrampton. All right, Strux, you're just lying on the floor. Remy is just holding on to this neophyte. Meanwhile, Paziski has been left to watch over Gurgel and the currently unconscious Hallowed Squire.
How am I accidentally in the middle of Bart Scrampton?
You put yourself in the door. That's how.
I'm trying to leave the door. It won't let me leave the door.
Well, unfortunately, you put yourself all the way in there, and because you're in another token, I need to get you out. And unfortunately, Foundry's being a massive pain in my fucking ass!
Bart Scrampton has eaten me.
Why can I not... There we go. Unconstrained movement. Jesus Christ almighty. There we go. Okay, great. You're now out. And so you approach Wallace first.
Please move.
For what reason?
I need to talk to the door.
Must you get through this door?
Well, I'm hoping that we can put the prisoners behind it so that we don't have to feed them.
Wallace turns around and looks at Bart. Bart just... The door just grows a mouth.
Yeah, nobody's getting through here. I was specifically told by Rin not to let anybody through here.
I'm gonna
Finley,
go over...
it's time for a recovery check.
I'm gonna go over to Rin as I just continue...
to be poisoned to death.
That's a 4. Fuck me. Okay.
God. Oh my
All right.
god.
You approach Rin, who is currently, somehow seemingly slept through all of that. Apparently, because she's got her eyes closed right now.
Rin.
Yes?
She was not asleep. She just opens her eye, or she doesn't even open her eyes as she responds to you.
Awesome. Could you perhaps tell Bart to open so that I can release all of our prisoners out that door so that we don't have to split our food with them and we don't have to kill them in a creepy public execution?
Well, that will kill them if you put them through that door.
What's beyond that door?
Bad things. That is the door to the Gauntlight itself.
There's not another exit?
There is an exit through there, but there's things in the way. You might be able to get away with sending them through now that it is daylight. But also, opening that door would basically tell the Inaris that is a borderline unguarded entrance. I'm not sure they're aware of that yet.
Okay. Great talk, thank you.
So basically you need to either kill these people or feed them. I'm not making that decision.
At this point, the overwhelmed Hallowed Squire has returned to consciousness at 1 hit point on the ground in front of Pazitsky. It takes one look at the frogman, and reaches for their sword.
Zitsky, are you gonna
Finley's
do
still out
something
of
about
Finley's
that?
still out of the room. So Paziski, this Hallowed Squire is reaching for his sword.
This guy's reaching for a sword. Well, that's great and all. Which guy is this?
The one right in front of you, right here, the Hallowed Squire.
Okay, so Pazitsky's gonna go ahead and attack him with a phase bolt.
Okay, go ahead and roll to hit.
Well, he's reaching for his sword, right? So
Yeah,
like,
go ahead and roll to hit.
could I try to stop him?
You said you're doing a phase bolt, so do a phase bolt. If it hits, that'll certainly stop him. He's got 1 hit point.
22.
22, that is a success. Go ahead and roll damage.
5d4. Holy shit. 10.
10 points of damage. You just see this guy reaching for a sword and just boom! He is now unconscious again. Immediately goes up to dying too and begins bleeding out once again. Alright. So Gurgel just goes, oh, what the fuck? As he's been just sitting on his hands, basically. Finley, make a recovery check as you walk in just in time to watch Pazitsky blast this guy in the face.
That's a 3!
Oh my fucking god. So yeah, you just watch Pazitsky blast this dude in the face with a phase bolt.
Okay. New plan. You either work with us or we kill you.
Gurgel just shrugs. I think you've already gotten my answer. And I'm gonna roll a dying check for the Hallowed Squire here. Hallowed Squire fails, goes up to dying 3. And the neophyte is still fighting Remy.
So I take that as a no, I say to the neophyte.
That's the only response you get.
Not me waiting for Remy Raddington to say something and absolve me from having to make this choice, as if I am not also Remy Raddington.
Remy Raddington.
I would just like to, I'd like to point out how fucking funny this is on my side, because I'm getting double speak. So I'm just hearing...
Hallowed Squire gets a natural 1 on their dying check. Is going to take a near-death injury. Let's see, what do they get if Foundry will fucking behave itself? Internal injury. Finally, something that's not psychological trauma.
It really takes a lot of effort to kill these people, and
It really does. I feel like I might need to rethink this.
because there's really not a way to do this without keeping hostages.
Unless you kill them.
Eudora is at the wall, and Eudora is the person who would just murder all of them.
Make a recovery check.
That's a natural 20. I'm free.
Yay! You're finally free of the poison.
It only went
As you
through
feel-
all of my stamina.
As you feel the poison leave your lungs, the neophyte continues acting unhinged.
Remy's gonna bite him.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to hit.
I'm gonna pull up my modifier, okay. That is a 28.
28. That is a critical success. Go ahead and roll critical damage.
It's only 4 points of damage.
Yeah, that's not even enough to knock them out. I'm going to say that they're going to try to break free of Remy's grip. So this is going to be an athletics check against Remy's... let's see. Let's see. This is going to be an escape action, so... Let's see. That's going to be... I'm going to say acrobatics against Remy's athletics DC. That is a 22.
That succeeds.
All right. So the neophyte has now broken free of Remy's grasp.
Remy's gonna try and shoot it in the head.
Okay, go ahead and roll to hit.
Do you need me to do multiple attack penalty or no?
Nah.
That's a 27.
27, that is a critical hit. Go ahead and roll critical damage.
That's 25 points of damage.
25 points of damage. Yeah, I'm going to say that just dead. I'm going to say you've killed that neophyte now, as their brains are now all over the ground.
Awesome.
You've just blown a hole straight through their face. Gurgel just winces. And the overwhelmed squire needs to make another dying check. That is a success. They're now down to dying 2. All right. So the neophyte is now dead.
I'm just gonna go over to this room.
Okay. As you do that, the squire is going to make another dying check. That is a failure, so they are up to dying 3 again. I really need to rethink this system. All right. You approach your other prisoners.
I'm going to offer the 4 of you a deal.
They all just kind of look at you.
You either work with us here and get fed and some share of whatever we find down there, or we kill you.
Make an intimidation check.
That is a 22.
22. That is a success on all of them. They all just kind of sit silently.
Any takers?
The brute who you were talking to before looks up at you. Frankly, any death that you give us will be better than whatever we'll get if we get back.
And the rest of you?
None of them make a sound.
Any objection to me murdering these 4 people?
The mayor puts a hand up. Frankly, I don't like the idea of killing an unarmed prisoner. Doesn't quite seem like the right thing to do.
Well.
But I also think that, considering I am also unarmed right now, that power is out of my hands.
I know what impression you're doing. It's on the tip of my fucking tongue.
Lance Reddick.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
that's
trying
it.
for, at least.
That's it.
We'll leave them for now, then. But the four of you should know. Should you try and break out, there will be no mercy.
They all continue to sit silently.
Okay. I am content
We go ahead and roll another dying check for this squire.
to let this
Who
fucking squire
fails.
die.
His wounded goes up. At this point, I think I can firmly say that, yeah, he's dead at this point, if you're just letting him die.
Yep.
So. Alright, that squire has bled out. So that leaves you just with Gurgel, then. Still just sitting.
Go into the main room.
As you close the doors behind you. What'd you say you were doing?
I told Gurdriddle to go into the main room.
Alright. So you lead. Do you follow him, or do you just tell him to go there?
I'll follow him.
Alright. Gurgel goes into the main room now. With you close behind.
Your weapons.
They're on the floor back there. I don't have any other ones.
Right. You can have them.
He says that, but he does have a short bow on his back and arrows and a quiver on his back.
I'll take those.
Oh, yeah. Alright.
You can have them
Put those in your inventory.
if or when you decide to re-enter Gauntlight.
If, sorry, did you say if or when I decide?
Yes.
What?
Well, you can choose to just kind of waste here. Or you can decide to help us by going back down.
You want me to turn against the Inaras?
Not the Inaras necessarily. There are other worse things in this tower.
Yeah, I'm fully aware of everything in this place. But I was given specific orders.
And those orders
And-
were?
Take the prisoners down. That was it. Take the prisoners down. Any corpses, give them to the flesh warpers.
What?
Beat back the devils.
Prisoners.
Yeah, the prisoners. You know, all the people from town we've been taking this whole time.
Well, I can't let you go.
Right.
And I can't kill an unarmed man, so... You're here, I suppose. Unless someone else decides to deal with you.
Alright. So you're just telling him to sit here?
He can wander as he likes. He doesn't have any of his weapons, and if he causes some fucking chaos, I imagine someone will kill him.
Okay. Alright then. Do you want to go through the loot from these three?
Yeah.
Alright. Well, Gurgel here had a light mace and a mangosh. Any takers?
Just basic light mace and mangosh.
Yeah, nothing magic.
I will leave that be.
Okay. So those are just left on the ground there. The neophyte had a sickle and a crossbow.
Remy will take the crossbow.
Okay. And they also had 10 bolts.
So crossbow and 10 bolts.
Yes. Remy is now encumbered.
That's fine. I'll have to put some stuff in my saddlebags. That's fine.
Alright, and the Hallowed Squire, crossbow, bolts, and a longsword.
I'll take the crossbow bolts.
Okay. And the rest of it, are you leaving it just lying on the ground here, or are you putting it in the party stash?
Collecting it and putting it in the stash.
Okay, cool. Figured as much, but... Alright. Excellent. And what are you doing with the bodies?
I don't think we've resorted to cannibalism yet. I guess we can put him in one of these back rooms.
Alright. Which one? Which room is becoming your makeshift mortuary?
Let's make it this one, in the back here.
Alright, all the way back in this old sort of living room area.
Yeah.
Are you moving all the corpses in there, or just these few?
Yeah, let's put all the corpses there.
Okay. You begin a body pile. I should note, you haven't been up to this area, and it does appear that there is a small passageway in the wall here. It looks like it was at one point a secret, but somebody found it.
What happens when I poke through the passageway? What's there?
Let's see, who's up there? Remy?
Yeah.
Alright. So, just go ahead and move you up there. So, go ahead and poke your head through the passage. On the other side, it seems there's a hallway of sorts. There is a desiccated corpse leaned up against one side of this secret door, and as you go through, you see a large stained glass window with an altar before it.
I'll put the corpses in here.
Okay. I will begin piling up bodies for you then. There also appears to be, behind you, a very large, broken down door with the desiccated and decaying corpse of a giant scorpion.
Awesome, 10 out of 10. Anything else of interest, or just kind of...
There also appears to be the corpse of some strange frog beast, partially eaten.
Oh. Where does this door let out?
Well, that door is currently blocked by rubble.
Oh. That's nice.
So you'd have to try to force it.
Oh, that's
Which
alright.
is entirely possible. Are you putting the maggot corpses in here as well?
For, health and safety, probably. Yeah, we gotta put the maggot corpses here.
Okay.
Remy is gonna make an announcement to everyone. Just a heads up. The chapel in the back corner is now a morgue. Please put all bodies in the morgue.
Okay.
All right.
The irony of Remy Raddington being the one to set up the morgue when her father would not have had a morgue. Would have just
If
let
anything,
things rot
ready-
on the floor.
if anything, her father would have been the reason that they needed a morgue.
So, Remy, as you are exiting the morgue, yeah, you feel just very cold for a moment.
Bummer.
That is all. What now? Are you going back to resting?
Well, I feel like we should put someone on guard at the pit. Is anybody in good enough shape, like rested enough that they're not fatigued or anything?
Everyone is currently still fatigued. It's been less than an hour.
Okay. Well, fuck. Okay, what I want to do is I want to rig...
Davina can guard the pit if you want.
Okay. Davina can guard the pit. Everybody else is gonna nap unless they're dealing with the wall.
Okay. Alright. So, as everyone takes a little nap, things remain quiet. As everyone who's not dealing with the wall takes a little 8-hour nap.
Yay. So we can just
So
press
it is
the rest for the night button for everyone.
Yes.
Well, I guess not Eudora or Mildred, but everybody else.
Correct. So, yes, everyone may now hit the rest button. I'm just saying, fuck it, we can use the rest button because it's easier for all of us. And yeah, you can get like 1 hit point or whatever it is.
We can get the 2 hit points that we get from the base rest package.
Yes. It looks like I can't tell if things have changed. I think things might have changed in the remaster.
Oh.
So now, it looks like long-term rest is a little different. So long-term rest is that each full 24-hour period a character spends resting during downtime it allows them... So now a 24-hour rest period allows you to fully recover from all damage and non-permanent conditions. Except for other things like diseases and curses and whatever. But you have to be in a comfortable, secure location.
Cool. So we're never resting again.
Well, okay, so regular rest and daily preparations. Here we go. So once every 24 hours, you can take a period of rest, typically 8 hours, during which you heal naturally, regaining hit points equal to your Constitution modifier minimum 1 times your level. So that means that I need to give Rin and... Ooh, no, that's not correct. I need to give Rin and Morlibint their hit points that they have recovered. And you regain all of your stamina and all of your stamina points, or all of your resolve points. So go ahead and apply that for each of your characters that has been able to rest here, and none of your characters are fatigued anymore.
Well, the ones on the wall are, yes.
The ones on the wall are, yes, they are fatigued.
And Mildred
and
is
also
drained.
you become fatigued. So, okay. So here are some other things. Let me. Here's some other things about rest that we should be aware of because they are kind of important here. So sleeping in armor results in poor rest that leaves you fatigued, and if you go more than 16 hours without resting, you become fatigued. So, right, and you can do your daily preparations, which takes an hour after you wake up. So, basically, each time you sleep, you need to take off all your armor.
Okay.
If you want to not be fatigued. But yeah, at this point, you have all done some rest and some recovery. So make sure to apply that to each of your characters. You should be able to just hit the long term or hit the rest for the night button. Saying this out loud to make sure that Jacob hears it.
Yeah.
Have you rested your characters?
Oh no, I have not. So stamina is back to full.
Just hit the hit the rest for the night button. It's the little dude in the bed under your max HP.
Oh.
There you go. And do that
And then
for
this is
all of
for-
your characters. You can do
Excellent.
that for all of your characters. And as you wake up, let's go through feeding time.
Oh, Christ.
So, in the stash, you've got a total of 800 servings of food. Now, let me just review how many people there are in camp here. So there's 14 player characters. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So it's 17 NPCs to feed on top of the 14 PCs. For a total of 31 servings of food that are being expended by this.
We're gonna need to send Mildred and that wandering chef guy down into the pit to see what they can make into food.
So 31, so that's 69. All right. So there's 69 servings left in this first stack. All right. Feeding time is done. And I'm going to actually have Mildred and Eudora make their fortitude saves, please.
Didn't I make a fortitude save?
Like 10 hours ago.
Okay.
Well, actually, yeah, so never mind. It's not been 16 hours yet, so they'll be fine for a little while longer.
Okay.
All right. So what are you doing now?
Okay. I'm gonna say Tanya is gonna guard the pit so that Davina can sleep.
Okay.
Oh, please stop closing that door. I want it open. Okay, gonna guard the pit. Is there anybody who needs medical attention?
Rin, Strux is injured. Bobby Bo is injured. There's a lot of people who are currently injured.
Okay. I'm just gonna say that Remy is gonna go around and treat the injured.
Okay. So I guess, let's see. I guess let's start from the top of the screen and move down. So that'll be Wallace to start.
Okay. That is a 15.
Success, 2d8.
That is 6 points of healing.
6 points of healing. All right. All right, that will bring us... Let's see, Lurbug is completely unharmed. Vandy is completely unharmed. That'll bring us to Gartholomew.
That is 24.
24. That is a success. Go ahead and roll.
That is 5 points of healing.
Points of healing, okay. Ooh, that's not what I wanted to do. That's fine.
Did you just give him 5 points of damage?
No, I killed him.
Oh! Sorry, Colby. Bartholomew is dead.
Dexter's fine. Magalo's fine. Lazda's fine. Rin.
That is a 20.
Go ahead and roll.
That is 4 points of healing.
Great. Alright then, that I guess brings us to Strux.
That is a 13.
Okay, that is a failure, so Strux does not get any healing. Morlabent.
That is a 15.
That's a success. Go ahead and roll.
That's 12 points of healing.
Okay. Let's see, who else is there? Oh, there's Kileno. Kileno's beat to hell.
Let's see if we can help Kileno. That is a 28.
That's a critical success, 48.
That's 21 points of healing.
Alright. Cool. And at this point, I think everyone is pretty much fine. With the exception, of course, of your prisoners.
Can Remy try crafting bullets, or what would she need? What items would she need to make bullets?
Hold on a second. Well, bullets are a bit of a strange thing, because I would easily say, do not currently have access to the resources right now that you would need. Like, you know, an ammo press.
Sure.
Or gunpowder. Actually, you don't need... Well, you don't need bullets. You literally just need... These are muskets, so... Regardless, you don't have gunpowder right now, so you can't make ammunition. You know what? With that, I think I'm gonna say we're gonna end the session there, so y'all can think about this for the next couple of weeks, and I can try to work out the kinks in some of these systems.
Yay, updates!
Yay. So, Remy, how are you feeling? Having just executed a man.
You know, it's never fun to have to execute a person, but sometimes stuff happens.
Sometimes shit happens and you just need to make a morgue.
Such is life.
And, Strux, how are you feeling?
Just, I I'm good. Yeah. I'm gonna need a few days to process this.
Fair enough. And how are we all feeling as players?
You put me in a
Fantastic.
moral pickle, Cameron.
Yeah.
I know they're fake people, but I still feel bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means I've done my job correctly.
Yeah.
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 Stop
Yeah.
echoing each other like a parrot.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. We want to give a special shout out to Jane Meyer. Thank you so much for your support on Buy Me a Coffee, Jane. It really means the world and helps make this show possible.